my channel. I'm Alexa. Today we're making hot chocolate cookies. I measured out all my ingredients and I recommend that you do so too. You can find a full list of ingredients and measurements in the link in the description. Remember to watch the video first so you can be prepared. To start, I'm going to sift my all-purpose flour, baking soda, and baking powder. This is to make sure there are no clumps. If you don't have a sifter, you can use a wire whisk or a fork. When you're sifting, you can push the ingredients through using a rubber spatula or a spoon, or you can tap the sides of it with your hands. Now that my ingredients have all fallen through, I'm going to tap the sides of my sifter so I can make sure no ingredients are stuck to its stand. If your sifter doesn't have a stand, you don't need to do this step. Next, I'm going to add in my hot cocoa mix. I'm going to whisk this into my ingredients until it's fully incorporated. Now, I'm going to cream my butter in the bowl of my stand mixer. Creaming your butter means putting it in your mixer and letting it mix by itself until it loosens and actually becomes creamy. This will allow it to combine better with the rest of your ingredients. Some recipes tell you to cream your butter with your sugar, but I find that it combines better when you cream it by itself first. Before adding in the sugar, I'm going to scrape down my bowl one more time so the sugar will mix in better. Now I'm going to add in my granulated sugar and brown sugar. I'm going to beat this for 2 to 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. When the batter starts sticking to my bowl, I'm going to scrape it off of there using my rubber spatula. This is going to allow my batter to mix faster. added my next ingredients, I'm going to scrape down my bowl again so they will mix in better and faster. Now I'm going to add in my eggs. Before I add them in, I'm going to scramble them with a fork, which would help it combine better with the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to mix this until it's combined. My batter looks great, but I'm going to make sure it's mixing well by scraping down my bowl again. Next, I'm going to add in about half of my sifted dry ingredients from before. It doesn't need to be exact. Make sure to start your mixer off at the lowest setting so that the dry ingredients don't fly out of the mixing bowl. My dry ingredients are sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to scrape my bowl down. Now I'm going to add in the rest of my dry ingredients. My dry ingredients are once again sticking to the sides of my bowl, so I'm going to scrape it down again. I'm going to mix this a little longer to mix in the unmixed dry ingredients. Now, I'm going to add in my chocolate chips. I'm going to mix this until they're evenly mixed in. There's no such thing as perfectly mixed in. Try not to overthink it and overmix them. Next, I'm going to add in my marshmallows. Make sure to only mix this a little after you add them in, because then they'll melt into the batter and fall apart if they're mixed too much. My batter looks great, so let's move on to the next step. Now, I'm going to scoop out my cookies. To do this, I'm using a 3-tablespoon ice cream scoop. You can use a measuring spoon if you don't have one. However, if you use an ice cream scoop, you won't have to roll out the cookies into balls afterwards, like you would if you used a measuring spoon. Place the cookies at least 2 inches apart because they spread. Next, I'm going to put my cookies into the oven. My oven's preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. My cookies took 11 minutes to bake. I'd recommend setting a timer for 9 minutes and then set timers for a few minutes after that until they're done. When they're done, they should be dry to the touch but still seem soft. Put your cookies onto a cooling rack so they can cool. And my hot chocolate cookies are done and looking delicious. Please let me know what you thought of the video in the comments and how the recipe went for you. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can see when new videos are added. Thank you and enjoy!